Spacey Sims, and we are back with more London Detective Mysteria. And we just solved the case of Abigail Hudson's missing plate. Um, and I'm pretty sure we just left off, because, like, this is going up every other day, so I don't record this every single day. So I'm pretty sure we just left off with Holmes being like, it's a fake. And we were like, why did you tell her that? And she lost her shit. And Holmes is like, I'm a dickhole. That's why. Because, he just wants to bring everyone down. So anyway, out in the hallway, I was sulking. She learned the truth, but at least we found it and solved the case. I'm glad of that. If only Holmes would show some mercy. One would think he could be a bit gentler with someone younger. That moment, Hudson came running out after me.
Spacey, must you leave so soon?
I'm afraid so. I have a curfew I need to be back before.
You'll come join me for some tea another time, I hope.
No. I don't want you to be my assistant. You annoy me. I'd love to. Fucking A, Spacey.
It's ever so frustrating, Spacey.
Is what Holmes said bothering you?
No, I'm not annoyed with Holmes. I'm more frustrated that all this time I had no idea of the truth.
Hold on. Woo! Sorry, hold on. This one is so fucking loud. The music is like my TV's not up that loud, and other games that like you can barely hear anything, and this one I'm like, Jesus, I think I'm going deaf. It's like because I can hear it coming out of my TV and in my heads, it's like just too much, so I need to turn it down a little bit. Anyway. Hudson. Without thinking, I put my hand on her head and began stroking it. Perhaps I thought to do so because I'd noticed others doing the same.
You're so kind, Spacey. I wasn't getting in your way, was I? I didn't cause you any trouble, did I?
Not once. Everyone only talked as much as they did because you were there. It's because of you that we were able to investigate so thoroughly.
Truly?
Truly. It's not something you could do on purpose, but naturally.
Thank goodness! Oh, right! I haven't given you your reward!
Reward?
For solving the case! I wasn't expecting you to do it for nothing! I'm not a child! I know how these things work! I have to keep books around here, you know? I've got money! A little bit!
Really? You're going to need more than a little bit to hire me.
I will? What's more than a little bit?
If you decide to pay in cash, £100,000.
That much?
Or I'm going to take that fucking plate and break it. That's how it works, bitch. What, the plate or your kneecaps? Pick one. If that's not possible, you can also choose to pay by helping me with cases from time to time. Does that work? Fuck you, Spacey. You should have just taken $10. $10. You got $10? Okay, good. And I never want to hear you again. Spacey, why you gotta be such a dickhole?
Oh, does it ever? I'll assist like the best of them.
All right, then. I'll be counting on you, Hudson.
Was that meant to be an impression of Holmes? You sounded very like him.
Well, I am trying to bone him. We'll see what happens. Hudson beamed with innocence once again. And this was how I'd come to have an assistant of my own. I have no idea whose path we're getting. I mean, we've gotten points with everybody because I'm really good at picking it. Like, you're like, that's going to give me points for that person, but I'm picking it anyway. My evening conversation with Pendleton was, as it so often was, engaging. I really wish we could get points with Pendleton. I really hope if they continue this game, like and make a second part, that they literally make a Pendleton part, because I just want to be in love with my butler. Because, like, I'm in love with this man. I love him so much. Pendleton, Sebastian, my favorite butlers. I love you. Like, fascinating. You, with an assistant. Yes, she's quite level-headed and reliable. And that's as wonderful as it is convenient. She possesses two of the very qualities you happen to lack. Ugh, you had to go and spoil my fun, didn't you? I only meant to suggest that the two of you will make a very complimentary team. Now, would you like some tea? As he spoke, he placed a cup of milk tea in front of me. I'm not certain I agree with your logic, but thank you. I must admit, it's unusually mercenary of you to demand services in return for giving your own. To say nothing of the cash figure you proposed. A maid's yearly salary is only £60, you know. I wasn't expecting her to pay it. I should hope not. I would find myself questioning if you were fit to be head of this family if you were. I'm not sure I'd even be much of a person if I expected her to pay that much. Still, this all feels rather strange and new. It's really funny because you're like, 100,000 pounds. She only makes $60 a year. The fuck? You know what? I'm going to take my fucking money. I'm going to roll up all my money into my bank account. I'm going to roll my ass to fucking like the early 1900s or whatever the fuck this is. I just totally forgot. I'm going to be like, I'm rich. I own this shit. I'm going to buy that country. I'm going to go back even further and discover America first. I'll be like, I was here. Woo! Fuck you, Columbus. Even though it wasn't really you and you get credit and you were kind of a dickhole. But you know what? Whatever. We're going to be ready. That's all I'm saying. This is why they don't give us time machines. This is why there is literally someone out there who's like, I have invented time travel and I'm going to make sure I go through time stopping people from ever inventing time travel because this is dangerous. That's what happened to the dinosaurs. Fucking time traveling people. It wasn't a meteor or anything like that. It was time travel. I can't wait till that becomes like a thing out there like flat Earth. That'll be fun. Oh yeah. I love crazy theories. Oh my god. Anyway. Still, this all feels rather strange and new. To have acquired a young assistant. Well, there's that, yes. But it feels as though I've now acquired a little sister. Even in the short time we were together, she's taught me so much already. My mind wandered back through the day's events as I stared at the contents of the teacup in front of me. I mean, look at his glorious hair. I can't... Pendleton? What is it? Why are you so fucking beautiful? I have no idea. I'm just magnificent. You really are. You're fucking magnificent. Sorry. Conversations with Pendleton. If I were to have a sister, which do you think would be better for me to have? A younger one or an older one? I'm not sure I would want you to have either. I have enough trouble handling just the one. Why, I never! That's not a very nice answer. I mean, let's face it, that's not a very nice answer. He's not a very nice butler. Like, he's amazing, and I love him to death. But let's face it, he's a bit of a dick, which is why we love him so fucking much. I put the milk tea to my lips a second time. All right, what should I do now? I don't really want to... Well, let's just read a book. I don't want to write in my diary about Hudson, so perhaps I should read something. I opened my school bag and took out a magazine. It was the one called Atlanta. Atalanta. 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 That's a lot of fucking A's. Atalanta. I'm just going to add an extra A in there because it's missing one. It's too many fucking A's. Anyway, fucking A. Literally. Anyway. That I had borrowed from Barple. It was full of information relating to the goings-on in London, including the arts, culture, education, voluntary activities, anything I could think of, really. Is it like an atlas? No, an atlas is like a... yeah, it would... Wait, what? No. That's not what I'm thinking. Judging by its contents, the new opera being performed at Leicester Square had been the talk of the town. It's Leicester. Leicester, if you want to be... No, it's Leicester. Leicester Square? That's like Worcester, Massachusetts. I'm kidding, it's Worcester. Anyway, I wonder if I should ask Pendleton to let me go and see it with Marple. Atalanta. A magazine covering culture, art, education, and voluntary activities available in London. They just really wanted to make that obnoxious. What is Atalanta? I'm feeling rather tired. Perhaps I should go to sleep. As I readied myself for bed, a thought came to mind. I hadn't seen Pendleton at all since finishing dinner. Ordinarily, he would come at this time to report his progress on his investigation, and yet he was nowhere to be seen. Pendleton! I called out to him, but it was Alicia who came in response. My lady, I'm afraid he's out visiting an old friend at the moment and won't be back till later. He said he was expecting to return at around midnight. I hadn't realized. Thank you for telling me. Oh. Pendleton, are you coming over to my house for a booty call? Because I'm okay with that too. please. He wouldn't sully his gloves that way. Anyway. I wanted to ask him whether he'd made any progress on the investigation, but it sounds like I have to give up for today. That's what he's doing, by the way. As I stood thinking that, Alicia's smile grew gentle. Look at her fucking hair! Okay, first of all, why they do this, the jellyfish bangs all the way around, where they're going to give her hair down to the floor. What is with this? This is not like, okay, we got our little bangs or fringe or whatever, and then you got the little and then it just goes all the way around. What is that? Why? Why do I look like I put on a really long wig and then put a short wig on top of it? Like, what's with the dual layer wigging? What the fuck? I don't understand. Why do they have an obsession with fucking mullets? What's the mullet obsession? Why? Why, Japan? Why? Why? And the saucer eyes. What the fuck is that? Anyway. Just literally want to go to the people who develop these games and just shake them and be like, why? Anyway.
If I may, my lady, perhaps it will do you good to spend your evening relaxing instead of discussing serious matters with him.
That's so not the voice she just had a minute ago. I don't know what's happening. I'm just going to change her voice every time now.
Well, just this once, I suppose.
If you'd like some tea to drink during your rest, I'd be happy to make you some. Thank you. I'd love some. Oh, what I said I was going to give her a different voice. She thought I was kidding. Alicia departed, and before long, she returned with some warm, fragrant tea. I'm just kidding. We'll find a voice for her. Don't worry.
Here you are, my lady.
I don't know. I want a fun voice for her, but I got nothing, so.
Thank you, Alicia. How are you and the other servants faring these days? We're all as proud as ever to serve you, naturally, and most pleased that you seem to be enjoying your new life at school.
I certainly am, but I wouldn't be able to if I didn't have all of you supporting me. I'm so grateful to every one of you.
It's our pleasure. And speaking of pleasures, we've been receiving some exciting samples from the Whitley family farms of late. Would you care to sample some of the cheeses we've been sent? Some delicious
Wensleydales? Wensleydales? Arrived just today. What's a fucking Wensleydale? Is that a cheese? What kind of cheddar is that? I'm just kidding. There's cheddar and mozzarella and cheddar and other kinds of cheddar and lots of cheddar. No, I'm just kidding. I know different types of cheeses, but I don't know what the fuck a Wensleydale is. I don't know what that is.
That sounds perfect. The creamy taste should go nicely with tea.
Oh, what else arrived? Oh, God.
Perhaps it would be faster to simply show you. I can bring everything up from the basement. Yes, please. Oh, or perhaps I should go and see it with you. Would that be all right?
It's more than all right, my lady. I feel like something bad's going to happen. Like, why do I feel like something bad's going to happen? We descended into the basement, Alicia leading the way. Once the room was illuminated, I could just make out its stone walls. The room was full of preserved food, such as wine, cheese, and pickles. Oh my God, I want to live in your basement! Wine, cheese, and pickles! That's all you... Well, except for peanut butter and Pendleton. Peanut butter, Pendleton... Wine, cheese, pickles, peanut butter, and Pendleton. The WC3P. That's what we need to happy life. Just give me some peanut butter and some Pendleton and lock my ass in that basement. Woo! Anyway. And the cold air of the room prickled my cheeks. This is the only part of the mansion that was left intact when the rest burnt down, come to think of it. May I ask something, Alicia? Have you ever been told anything about my mother and father?
I'm afraid not. In fact, I hear that when you moved to the countryside, all of the family's servants were dismissed after being told few would be needed. As such, no one amongst the current staff knows anything regarding your life back then, myself included. And that is how Pendleton wished it as well. He believes it's better that those who serve you don't know what happened.
Pendleton is not a bad guy. All right, I'm sorry. Keep calm, trust Pendleton. Don't try to tell me, because that just sounds a little shady, like Pendleton made sure nobody knew what happened. Because he was protecting us, or he's protecting himself? Like, what the... Pendleton? You better not be a shady motherfucker, because I will still love you. I will visit you in prison, Pendleton. I'm just saying. Conjugal visits. In case you haven't noticed by now, I heart Pendleton. Just saying. Oh. Listening to her story, I found myself feeling blessed to have Pendleton anew. Hey, if any of them had known the killer's face the way I did, they would surely be placed in harm's way. Such a thought reminded me of the danger I was still in. So she's seen his face. I mean, I know she saw someone stabbing her parents, but I didn't think she saw his face. But and we know it's not Pendleton. He could have arranged it, I'm saying. But, like, because she was seeing it happen and he grabbed her and ran away. So, like, I'm like, don't make me feel suspicious that he had something to do with it. But I know he didn't actually physically do it. I don't know how they could work around that, but.
Has this always been there? I noticed a small door behind a shelf in the room. It has, but it's usually be hidden behind the shelf, and making it difficult to notice. Have you ever opened it before? Not once. But we don't even possess the key to do so. Alicia shook her head, looking slightly puzzled. Meanwhile, my curiosity grew. Couldn't help but wonder what was on the other side.
Take out that bee pendant on you. It's probably the key. Where's your thing? Right there. See? Doesn't it look like a key? It's key-shaped. It's like a bee with a stick on it. Because what the fuck is the bee? Look, you know what I mean? Anyway.
Which of these cheeses would you like to try, my lady? You have plenty of options to choose from. They all smell scrumptious. I'm going to be spoilt for choice. Together we chose some cheese from the available selection, and I enjoyed it in the living room of the mansion with some tea. It didn't take long for the existence of that mysterious door to begin to rapidly fade from my memory.
Wow, girl, because I'm still thinking about it.
I wonder.
Where's my necklace? Poop, poop. I got a bazillion fucking keys floating around my house. I would be collecting them all, be down there like 3 days later. What are you doing? I'm trying all the keys. Running on a key hunt through London like, you got any keys? Anybody got any fucking keys? Call the locksmith! If you know what that's from, I love you.
Basement key. A key to open a door that leads deep beneath the Whitley mansion. And now we magically have a key. I'm just saying.
Now we have the key. And she's like, I magically got a key. What's this for? Throw it away. Call the locksmith.
The lock is rusted.
It's from Robin Hood Men in Tights. I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you. You should watch it. It's really old, but it's still funny. It's great. Hey, Blinken. Hey, Blinken. Where? No, I said, hey, Blinken. Oh, my God. Oh, I got to rewatch that movie. It's so funny.
Unlike other Robin Hoods, I can speak with an English accent.
I know way too many lines from that movie, and I'm not even sure why, because it's been like fucking like 100 years since I've seen it. That's the sad part. Wow.
It was just past midnight. Harrington Academy was wreathed in silence, still as a graveyard. The front gates were long closed, not a single student to be seen.
What was the title of this chapter? I missed it, because I was laughing too hard. Hold on. I need to see. Wait. The Missing Man. Okay, that's the title of this chapter. Okay. I'm sleepy. Patrolling the academy at night. I swear it! It's got to be one of the most worthless jobs. Who would break in here? If only I could go home to my bed. I don't know what's happening with his voice. Don't even fucking ask me, okay? Just seriously.
As though out to prove him wrong, the guard then heard a suspicious sound from the first floor.
What's that scratching noise? A rat? It's a big-ass fucking rat.
He raised his lantern and approached the source with a stiffness set in his bones.
Someone's there. Could it be a burglar? I don't know what's happening with his voice. I'm sorry.
He gripped the lantern till his knuckles were white. He knew that he had to prepare himself for what could turn quite ugly. A deep breath. Silence. Then he twisted the handle.
A black shadow sprang from the room, racing down the staircase at a speed too great for him to follow. Wait!
The guard unstiffened to stop this figure from escaping, but he was too late. They had already slipped into the darkness.
What on earth's happened here?
The sight within the classroom left him bewildered. It was a sea of white markings, some bold and in short chunks, some light and lengthy, some a mixture of both. Whether they were words or intricate symbols, he could not identify, but found them an eerie sight in the dark, dark room.
Come on, show us what they look like. Someone's trying to frame a Keiichi. All I'm thinking is like talking about symbols, and I'm like, is it Japanese?
It was Monday, but The week was already off to a bad start if the weather had anything to say about it. The sky looked as though it could start raining at any moment. It's looking rather grim, isn't it? I do hope this isn't a sign of bad things to come. Indeed, though you should still take care. As head of the family, you cannot afford to place your life in unnecessary danger. You're right. I'll be careful. Perhaps I should sternly consider writing a will just in case. One never knows when such a thing might be needed. A grim thought, but very true nonetheless. Leaving one would help to avoid needless conflict down the line. I place emphasis on would. I fully intend to ensure it never comes into play by protecting you myself. Fear not.
Well, thank you. He's really a crack shot, is all I'm saying. I mean, I'm still reeling over that. Like, I'm going to back up and go back like a week or 7, whatever it was, and be like, I still can't believe, like, I just want Pendleton to swoop in and save us. And Pendleton was like, I'm down here. I got you. Don't worry, bitch, I got you. Like, I shot that motherfucker. Like, damn it, Pendleton. Crack shot.
Crack shot, Jolly-o. Tut tut. Good day, sir. Tip of the hat.
I don't know what just happened. I'm sorry. I just had a brain seizure. Anyway, since we're on the subject, did Mother and Father leave a will of any kind?
I'm afraid they did not.
Our conversation was interrupted by the distressing sound of breaking glass further inside the mansion. What could that have been? Something breaking, I'm guessing.
It didn't sound like a window to me.
He's like, it was on the 2nd floor, and it was this, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's got it all fucking pegged. He probably knows.
Alicia mentioned she was going to work on exchanging that mirror this morning, so perhaps... Forgive me, my lady.
Alicia came rushing into the room, flustered as one could be.
Oh, we were in the process of carrying an old mirror out of the mansion when one of the servants carelessly shattered it to bits.
I'm not going to blame myself. It was probably me, but I'm going to blame the new girl.
Never mind the mirror. No one was hurt, I hope. Thank goodness, no. And they're working on gathering the pieces as we speak.
They got 7 years shit luck.
Oh, what a terrible omen this is. We'll be certain to bury each piece under the moonlight post-haste.
Okay, that's a little excessively crazy. You're still at bad luck. I'm just what happens.
After declaring as much, Alicia scurried out of the room, each trembling step and wiggle of her shoulders displaying more panic than the last. That is concerning. They say breaking a home's mirror brings with it 7 years of bad luck. That's nothing more than a silly superstition, isn't it? All that matters to me is that no one was hurt. Oh God, we're all going to die, aren't we, Pendleton? Be that as it may, the seeds of misfortune can truly be sown when you least expect it. I beg you to be careful.
Just like being over dramatic with him.
Of course. Feeling a certain degree of unease myself, I set off to school.
Plus, it's a scary, gray day, and people are breaking things, and It
hadn't taken long to notice there was something amiss in my classroom. Oh my, what is all this?
Oh. It's just random letters.
Uh-huh. I was left speechless at the sight. From end to end, wall to wall, desk to desk, everything was liberally covered in chalk scribblings. Some were made up of English letters, whilst others Some were made up of English letters, whilst others included seemingly random marks and symbols.
I don't know, they all look like English letters except for, okay, that's a scribble. That's a number 8. Looks like a number 9. It literally looks like, I mean, they all look like letters except for, like, this is like a butterfly wing. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Okay, well, that one is like that looks like a weird ass, like, ampersand, upside down ampersand. No. Yeah, is that? No. Yeah. And that's like a olive on a stick. You know, okay, so there's some random symbols in there, but some headphones over here. Like, this is fun. It's like spot the things. Anyway.
Could this be a code of sorts?
You know what? That's my goal in life now. No, but not really. But I swear, I want to hop into this game and be like, all right, my goal is to be that person who like breaks into a detective school and just writes some random shit all over the place. Everyone's like, that must be a code. And they would just be like, they would all die. They'd be like, 84 fucking years. It's been 84 years and we can't crack the code. Me just laughing from beyond the grave. Because I will not be alive in 84 years. That's, whoa, no. What was the culprit thinking by writing over everything like this? Even for a prank, this is going too far. I started giving him the Watson voice anyway.
You don't think it was the work of someone with a grudge against the class, do you? Writing across the board is one thing, perhaps, but the desks?
He looks way too fucking happy. What the deuce is going on here? Whoa, now this is a sight. The whole room's covered in chalk. I mean, like, Watson has the fucking, like, the jellyfish hair, and he would just be so much cuter without the jellyfish hair. I'm just saying. But Holmes and Watson were as wide-eyed as everyone else who entered. It's also like the spaghetti hair, where it's like, it's literally like a chunk and a chunk and a chunk. And if your hair does this, you might want to wash it, because I'm just saying it shouldn't be in giant chunks like that. Unless it's like a spiral curl or something, but there ain't enough curl for the amount of, no. Holmes and Watson were as wide-eyed as everyone else who entered. Did I read that? I don't know, but there you go. Next to arrive were Akechi and Kobayashi. According to one of the guards on patrol, it happened late in the night at the weekend. He claims he spotted a suspicious man rushing out of the classroom, and upon further investigation, found the room in this state.
His first instinct was that it might have been part of a burglary of sorts, so he reported it to Scotland Yard, and he had them examine the academy from top to bottom,
but we left it because this is what we do in this school. Oh, and there's like infinity symbols hiding back here, like that thing, and right behind him.
But no one was able to find anything else out of the ordinary or gone, and this room was the only change.
It's hard for me to remember the voices I gave certain characters until we get close enough. By the sound of it, they had gone to question the school's guard immediately after seeing the classroom. I assume Scotland Yard left the room as it was to preserve the crime scene. How thoughtful of them. I don't suspect our criminals selected chalk on a whim either. There's very little excess chalk powder, and the writing on the desk is finely printed, indicating great familiarity.
We're meant to catch criminals, Akechi,
not praise them. Praising them was not my intention in the least. Still, I think we're dealing with a very methodical individual. Despite a sense of urgency in each stroke, the letters are written in orderly lines and are clearly legible. They're not really that orderly. I mean, legit, this is like this, and then dumps down, and then this goes up. I mean, they're not, and then this U is in the middle of fucking, they're not that orderly, sweetie. They're not that orderly. Okay.
I can read textbook well enough, but my English reading and writing skills aren't good enough to handle scribble like this yet.
Well, that's okay. We speak English as our first language, and we don't even fucking know what this is. If you read it backwards, it might make sense. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yanudip. Fucking A, I can't believe it. How dare they write Yanudip? Anyway. The way the letters curl at the end is quite distinctive, thankfully. Yeah, I feel like I've seen handwriting exactly like this somewhere before. Where was it? Mr. Mackenzie.
Mr. Mackenzie.
Holmes and Marple, speaking with such snappy unison, spelt the writing on the wall better than any chalk could. I, too, couldn't help but feel I'd seen this handwriting.
All right, class. In a previous lesson, we covered the cipher used by Mary, Queen of Scots, and her co-conspirators, Babington, when they exchanged letters. And that's why today we're to cover a cipher used in a completely different country, France. The one used by Queen Marie Antoinette, to be precise. Take a gander at the blackboard. As you can see, the most distinctive feature of the cipher is that the ampersands are used frequently in addition to letters.
I think he might be right. He does have a tendency of curling his letters at their ends when writing on the blackboard.
It takes a keen eye to be conscious of unique quirks in your teacher's handwriting, as such a thing occurs as much in English as it does in Japanese, apparently. Akechi wasted no time in jotting down notes.
Where is Mr. Mackenzie? He should be here by now, shouldn't he?
What an obvious thing we missed! As he said that, the school bell claimed to indicate the start of lessons. Chimed to indicate so he's the missing man. I get it. The classroom door creaked and we all turned expecting to see him at the doorway. Mr. Mackenzie's not in, so we're to work on our own for first period. Lupin was standing there, typically meek posture and all, instead. Typical meek posture and all. And then he fucking takes off the glasses and he's like, well, hi, how are you? You want to make out with me? I know you do. Fucking love him. I think he's one of my favorites just because he's like split personalities. I fucking love it. He's not in?
How peculiar. He's never been absent for a single day since I've been in attendance, and the mysteries are piling atop one another by the second.
Wait a second. Is something wrong, Watson? Not wrong, but the other day he mentioned something about not having very long left.
What? He said that?
He did. He looked even gloomier than usual when he said it. Well, what if he's been targeted by someone? And leave a veritable novel across the walls for us to decipher? It's a bit dramatic, don't you think? Whatever's happening must be very serious for him to resort to something so drastic. Instead of writing, help, so-and-so is going to murder me, I'm going to be here at this time. Come on! The actual fuck! Why wouldn't you? Look, I get it. They're right there, and you're like, nah, I'm just doodling random shit on the walls of my cell. It's a cipher people have figured out. You broke into the school to write a holy fucking shit, help me, motherfuckers. But instead of writing that, you wrote random scribble all over everything. Really? What the fuck? Why would you? That's just douchey. And did you hear anything, Lupin? Lupine?
I do know he never contacted the school to say he was going to be absent. So, you think it's bad, do you? Oh, you don't think it's bad, do you?
Calm down, Lupin. Holmes's eyes were focused on the cryptic writing. We all get to work together! Yay! With all our boyfriendos! And Marple. Mr. Mackenzie must have been trying to tell us something by leaving these messages. And that said, there is a possibility we're dealing with a serious case here. We'd best proceed with caution. You're right. The normally fun, pleasant atmosphere of the classroom had devolved into one of great tension, unless he's doing this on purpose, like, congratulations, you passed the quiz. Awesome! This sounds like a fun school!
But leaving things as they are does us no favors, unless we want to be covered head to toe in chalk by the time we go home. I propose copying down all the messages and wiping everything down.
I've taken care of half of that already. Here's a copy for you, Holmes. Watson proudly shared a piece of paper with the coded messages copied on. Very impressive, Watson. I'm glad I can count on you for simple tasks like this, at least. No one makes a compliment sound like an insult quite like you, my dear friend.
I've made a copy for myself as well.
As have I. And here's an additional one for your reference, Kobayashi. I'm like, wait, I'm still... See? I... Kind of looks like a Y, but it goes off the board. And they're like looking at me and you're like, I'm still on the butterfly wing. Like literally, I'm starting here. Anyway.
Much obliged. I'm finished with mine.
How? How are you all finished so fast? There's writing on every single fucking desk. Who wrote? How? Oh, what about you, Jack? Are you finished? The class's gaze centered on Jack, who was sitting at his desk. Don't care. I see you made your own copy. The ink on your fingers, despite first period having only just begun, tells me everything I need to know. Very quick work. Sod off, Holmes. Jack turned away from all of us. All right then, can anyone here decode this? Not me, I'm afraid.
I haven't a clue. But we might find something if we go to the library.
That's a fine idea. Shall we get going then? Sitting here pondering isn't going to get us anywhere. I love this chapter. We're with all of our boyfriends. All right,
Good luck!
We'll wait here, so if you find anything out, come and let us know.
Of course! Best of luck on your end as well.
We may well have stumbled into a major case here, and I couldn't be more thrilled about it. Let's solve this.
Kobayashi, you do realize the only reason we're enrolled here is due to Mr. Mackenzie's generosity. I find it highly improper that you should behave this way when his life may be on the line. Cease at once.
I know.
Meanwhile, he's so happy. At that point, Jack caught my eye. He was showing no obvious interest in accompanying us. Okay, so we just wrote him letters once and we're done with that now? Write him a letter. Hold on. I'm writing you a letter. It's possible he knows something we don't. He may feign disinterest in the cipher, but he did jot them down. Unsurprisingly, he was half-lidded and watching nothing in particular. Shall I engage him? Why not? I decided to speak to him. I knew no would be you get no points with him, but like I don't think you can't go down Lupin or Jack's path to begin with. Wait a minute. Wait. I want to see something. Yeah. Yeah, Holmes, Watson, and Akechi are the only ones you can go down initially. I think you could probably get the Kobayashi and Marple endings. Hold on. I want to see something, but I can't get my... Where is the character relationship here? Okay. So, yeah, Jack and Lupin, I think you go down after. You get Watson, Holmes, and Akechi to begin with. Kobayashi and Marple have charmed endings. So I don't think those are romancy endings, but I think those are like best friend endings. Yeah. That's all they tell you. And then like, I just want a Pendleton ending, goddammit. But anyway. Pardon me, Jack, but you wouldn't have some idea of what these messages mean, do you? Not a clue. You copied them down though, right? Which must mean that you have some interest in pursuing the matter. I ain't got no interest, no. Copying them down is my own business. Your own business. But you thought to do so in case you found the answer, yes? Will you consider joining us, Jack? We'll need all the assistance we can afford with this. It's got nothing to do with me. Off with you now. Well, alright. But should you change your mind, you're always welcome. We'll be waiting. Huh. The matter settled as much as any matter with Jack could be. He returned with a practiced languor to gazing out the window. I did so want to keep pressuring him, but with a quick pause and thought, I decided it was best to hurry to the library. As we were about to leave the classroom, someone called out to me. Miss Whitley. Akechi approached. Hi, Hotness. Yes? I do apologize for this, but I think it would be for the best if Kobayashi and I were to split off from the rest of the group. What? Why? I would appreciate it if you didn't look quite so sad. I'm not suggesting that the two of us don't want to work alongside you. Rather, if Mr. Mackenzie truly is in danger, then it's possible it will be too late by the time we decode these messages. The two of us intend to try pursuing the case from other angles, in hopes that we can discover anything that might help us. So I'll leave the deciphering to your side. Best of luck! That sounds less like helping and more like dropping the hard work on us. Don't jump to conclusions, Watson. What they're saying makes perfect sense. There are times when it pays to look at a case from a completely different angle. What shall I do? Just let them go. I know we should call out to them. We could get the Akechi ending, but I'm really actually aiming more for Holmes. But we keep getting other points, so I'm like, you know what? You know what? I know calling out to them would be better and we'll get Akechi points, but I really wanted to do the Holmes route for... I mean, I've seen that the route... There is no route order, but the recommended one is like Holmes, Watson, Akechi, then Jack or Lupin. I can't forget. But like, so I kind of almost want to stick with that. Like, I'm trying to go down the Holmes route first, but I don't really know what we're going to get. So I'm just... I know Jack and Lupin, we can't get them. I know we can't get them yet, so whatever. But all right, take care. We'll do the best we can here. Thank you. We shall pray Mr. Mackenzie is safe. I'll see you later, and good luck. Akechi and Kobayashi hurried out of the classroom. If he's already been caught in something, then we can't afford mistakes when decoding the cipher.
True, that we can't.
Jack? I was quite surprised upon Jack's interjection. He insisted he has nothing to do with him, but he was curious about it after all. He must be worried for Mr. Mackenzie also. He might just enjoy a good mystery. Thank God he stepped up.
What's that face for?
Oh, don't mind me.
There's a chance the messages were written to mix us up. A ploy to distract us from something more sinister in the works. Sinister in the works. Something more sinister in the works.
I love how they write the accent in. It makes it a little bit easier, but it messes me up a little bit at the same time. Like,
could be at any rate.
Your logic is sound. But diversion or not, this is clearly Mr. Mackenzie's handwriting.
I should agree. The way his letters curl at the end is the same. Can't notice such things when using a pen, but it's plain as day here.
Jack sought the notes he'd written on his desk for reference.
Even if some bloke to mimic the handwriting, it wouldn't be so easy to do the same for a bits.
For a bits that are only seen when he jots things down in chalk.
Though, could be he was coerced.
Unintentionally, my eyes wandered over to Jack's notes, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Your notes are impeccable, Jack. Despite my efforts to hold it in, I squeaked out a tiny gasp. You even copied the teacher's handwriting. What a gift you have.
Wait, did you do this? You thick? I never said you could look. You thick? I never said you could look.
I don't know why. That whole it's just fucking hilarious. I take it this part neatly written in cursive is mine. Well done.
It's from when he asked you to write on the board. It'd be polite to stop staring any time.
As for this childish scrawl here, this must be Watson's. Very accurate indeed.
That's mine. It can't be that terrible. Besides, I'm always the one jotting down clues during our cases. I need to prioritize speed over all else. I do plan on getting them together and putting my memories in a book, but until then, I don't see the need to make it pretty. Save yourself the effort and purchase a typewriter. You can't write worth a damn. You don't have to mind it that much, right? Isn't it about time we shifted focus toward decoding those messages?
With the mood considerably more cheery than before, we made our way to the library, and we got Jack to come along. I bet he would have come along anyway. It just would have been like, whether we're like, hey, Jack, what? Or just being like, peace out, motherfucker. Like we did with Akechi and Kobayashi. We were like, okay, bye. He's like, oh, sorry. I know the right answer to get points with you was like, no, don't leave me. Akechi, no, don't go. But, since we could technically get your path, I'm not worried about Lupin and Jack because we can't get their paths, from what I understand. We can get Akechi. And I'm thinking we should get Holmes or Watson first, so I'm trying for Holmes. We've so far done good with getting his points, I think. But anyway. Once there, we put our heads together and started looking over each of the messages we had copied.
Here's the one that was written on my desk. And this one here is the one that was on Holmes's.
Okay, so not everybody wrote down everything. We wrote down bits and pieces. Okay, got it. I'd wager this is a simple substitution cipher. What's that? Pardon, Holmes, but I'm not at all familiar with the term. It's a cipher where each letter is substituted for another, although the name already implies as much. As an example, let's take the 26 letters of the English alphabet, A to Z. You would first decide what to substitute each letter for and create a table reflecting the answers for easy reference. Me and my friend did that once. We literally just did, it was like one letter to the right on the keyboard. So if you were typing cat, it would be like VSY. Yeah. It was either one to the right or one to the left. And then obviously P would be Q and L would be A, it would loop around. But and it literally got to the point where we would just type emails back and forth like that. And it got to the point where seriously, you wouldn't even have to look. You're like, I know what oh, fucking shit. You did too much. I know what it says. That was my first foreign language. The one I made up myself. Anyway. So literally this, except for when you're typing on the keyboard. So in the QWERTY style. So, and the most straightforward one would be replacing each letter with the letter that comes after it in the alphabet. A for B, B for C, and so on. Infinite. If I were to write my name this way, this would be the result. Ipanift. I see! That makes for quite an effective cipher. It would take me a while to work out the message. Perhaps for you, but for anyone used to decoding these things, it would take no time at all. They would be able to read the original message as if it never existed. There aren't many familiar enough with ciphers for that to be the case, mind, but I find it still worth noting. I'm a genius and I know it, but nobody else does, but I just want you to know it's really fucking easy. What a dickhole. I love him. Mr. Mackenzie's message uses more than letters. It uses symbols as well. How are we possibly meant to decode this? The key lies in how frequently the letters of the English alphabet are used. Look at the messages we've been given. Do you notice how some symbols and letters crop up far more often than others? One's for an E. You're right. Like this one here. Oh, and this one. The most commonly used letter in the English alphabet is E. The second is T, followed by A, and then O, all the way down the list. I think it's really... I knew E was the most commonly used letter, but I did not realize that T was the second. Interesting. Huh. Interesting. As such, we're best off substituting letters in the cipher from the standard alphabet based on frequency. We can correct mistakes and piece together the rules along the way. So upon closer inspection, this is the most commonly used letter, and therefore likely E. This is presumably T. And in cases where there are two letters or symbols used consecutively? Not every letter was designed to be written twice in succession in the English language, but certain letters do happen to be used commonly for just that. L as in all, T as in Scott, S as in mission. We can narrow down the most likely candidates for double letters in these ciphers easily enough then. Yeah, it's the same thing twice. Look, moon, foot, week, meat, sweet. Wow! Look, wheat, moon, meat, foot, sweet. Now we have to decipher what that means. No, I'm just kidding. I know. Correct. Incidentally, E and O are also common consecutive letters. Ugh. Testing every letter and symbol sounds as taxing as it is tedious. It may not be as difficult to decode as you think. These symbols resemble those used in the cipher used by Mary, Queen of Scots. That's encouraging. There should be some books on that cipher somewhere in the library. Shall we see what we can find then? Which bookshelf should we check first? Mary, Queen of Scots. Well, classified documents on major crimes. Let me see if I can find anything amongst the books on crime. Mary, Queen of Scots. She was Mary, Queen of Scots, but didn't she marry into England? So then it's like, well, Scotland, but also England. But is she? But you're trying to like confuse me here, because obviously Mary, Queen of Scots, Queen of Scotland, but didn't she marry into English royalty? I have the Mary, Queen of Scots book. My cousin gave it to me ages and ages ago, and I still have it. And I started reading it, but I never, like, it's not like an actual, it's like, not, I'm going to choke to death. Sorry. It's not like the actual, like an actual biography. It's like a fake, it was like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like fiction based upon a real person. So, but I never read the whole thing. So I don't know. Anyway, Mary, Queen of Scots, uses cipher when exchanging letters with the other conspirators in the plot to assassinate England's queen. A book that details the plot ought to have more regarding the cipher. And the case is known as the Babington plot, I believe. Ha! So I did good. Okay. I started looking in the bookshelves further inside the library. I searched through the top shelf of a particular bookcase after borrowing a stepladder, upon which good fortune finally came to me. Here we are, the Babington plot, execution and error. And this is perfect. I extended my hand out as far as I could reach, and just as I thought I had it, eep! She eeps, I believe that. I lost my balance. Of course you did. I fully expected a harsh landing on the floor, but no such thing came. Rather, the landing was a soft one. Who caught me? Was it Jack? You're heavy. What? Jack, why are you under me? Never mind it. Just get off.
How did you not see I was here?
I beg pardon. My mind was so wrapped up in the cipher business that I wasn't paying proper attention. Oh, so we just fell on him. Cute.
Ugh.
How adorable. As I stood, Marble appeared from a neighboring bookshelf.
Everything all right? I heard a loud noise. What the fuck are you two doing?
She fell from a ladder and on top of me. And onto. Muff. She fell from the ladder and on top. And onto Muff.
Nothing at all, Marble. I only happened to drop a book, that's all.
And onto.
Okay. I was like, wait, what? Why is he muffling? I moved to cover Jack's mouth at such a speed that I nearly looked as if I were slapping him.
Oh, was it the book you needed, Spacey?
I believe so. I'm absolutely certain it will have what we're looking for.
I'm glad to hear it. And if I may politely observe, I never knew you were so friendly with one another. Very interesting.
Marble left the conversation at that and wandered off to a nearby bookshelf.
Yeah. She fell from the ladder and on top of me.
Why? Okay.
For God's sake, off with you.
Please, Jack, don't tell the others about what just happened. Please.
And waste me breath talking about something so stupid. What noblewoman slaps her hand over someone's face? You sure you're all tough?
I do apologize. Really, it was more a reflex than on purpose. You're not mad with me, are you?
That look on his face, that like, well, I kind of liked it. You're a right danger to yourself.
How?
Just try not to fall on me yet again.
Like Marple, Jack chose a cryptic end to the conversation before leaving. Whose message shall I decipher first? Just go from the top down. Oh. Do you get love points for whoever you picked first? Good job picking Holmes, Spacey. Good job. Anyway, I figure we're going to have to go through all of them. Let's start by decoding your message, Holmes.
And do you think yourself capable?
I didn't mean to suggest I would do it alone, but we can make short work of it as a team.
Oh.
Very well then. I'll start with the basics. What letter do you think the two circles here are a substitute for?
Probably an O. Well, it could be look or book. Or cook. I don't know why you'd cook a cat.
Huh.
Again, it's an O or an E. I'm thinking, which letter? Okay, we'll be using the place of the black circle. So O, I was good. Okay, good. What about O? Though it could be E, I suppose. You mentioned before how they were both used consecutively in a lot of words.
Don't get cocky. I did say it was a basic question, and answering a basic question is nothing to boast about. I would sooner wonder how you managed to survive this long if you couldn't.
Paying a compliment isn't as painful as you might think if you must know. Well, let's keep at it. We persisted through the ciphers, questioning, decoding, pursing our lips in irritation when without a clue and cheering when one was solved beyond doubt. Each success was enough to restore our motivation for the next. Don't knock all your bells off, buddy. Phew! We've done it! Everything's been decoded. Okay, so that was not first. It's whose message should we decode? That's how you get love points with them. Well, what did I just tell you? I said don't knock your fucking bells off. Now you got no fucking bells. Now you're bells-less. No bells. I can't get them for you. Yeah, look, yeah, you're swinging your bells. Like, why isn't it dinging? Because the bells are on the floor, butthole. You're going to have to wait a few minutes. We'll have to let the others know it's done. We retired for the classroom as though there wasn't a second to spare.
All right. If we put all of these messages together so that they can be read coherently, this is what we're left with.
I fear I do not have long to live.
But even should heartless blades tear into me, I will always be proud to have been able to teach you. By the time you have finished decoding this message, I may no longer be of this world. But for this time, I bid myself to rest, recalling with warmth your smiles.
From St. Woolworth 112A to my beloved students.
None of us can contain our shock.
Mr. Mackenzie...
Blades tear into me, and his life is absolutely in danger.
I think you've missed the most important point. The address at the bottom. The rest is within the realms of our expectations.
I know, he put the address. I'm like, that's from address to my beloved students. I was, I should have said something because I was like, that's awkward. Not from Mr. Mackenzie. It's from my address.
I have a horrible feeling about this. This address may be...
Maybe what, Holmes? Have you figured out something more?
No, I haven't. I was rambling.
We should hurry to wherever this is. What if the worst has already happened? And if it's a trap? Are we safe to go?
Even if it is, it's the only way we're going to learn what happened to him.
She's fucking adorable, can I just tell you? I agree. Let's go. Our apprehension grew even stronger. Oh, our apprehension growing even stronger. We ran. We traveled after hailing a cab. The address was revealed to us when it finally stopped. Holmes, this can't be.
Oh my god, it is. We've reached a graveyard. I was like, are we like a fucking Undertaker? Funeral home?
The chime of church bells was distinct. Lightning flickered across the sky, and rain began to pound against us to create a woeful painting. The sight within the graveyard grew more unsettling when we observed eerie silhouettes not far away. They were all dressed in black clothing, sniffling and sobbing and holding one another. We approached. Carved on one of the gravestones closest to them was an all too familiar name. No, I refuse to believe it.
A loving memory.
It was the one we dreaded most. Mackenzie. You know, I'm just saying, I doubt that's a really uncommon name.
Or are we too late? No.
All of us were left speechless by the reality before us. I might not have long left. I wrote this at night and I already am buried with a tombstone. I mean, he works fast is all I'm saying. Then, just like that, the silence was broken.
Oh, hello, class. What brings you here?
Who? I turned in response to the voice and was at a sudden loss. Mr. Mackenzie, why are you... Moments before, we had been convinced he was laid to rest, but there he was, standing, alive. I figured this was a test for us. Anyway.
Mr. Mackenzie! Don't tell me you weren't able to ascend and are now trapped here as a ghost. Oh, no, I assure you. I'm breathing quite well. This here is the funeral of an old friend.
But we decoded all those messages you left for us. Why, one of them had this very address.
Ah, that's how you found this place.
Mr. Mackenzie, perhaps we're owed a swift explanation.
Well, with regards to the address, I live next to this graveyard, and my home is a stone's throw away from here.
Not fucking surprising in the slightest, and I would expect no less. So it was for your home? Then whose gravestone is that?
And that would be my father's. He lost his life to hepatitis. Oh, I don't know how many years ago. And that he was laid to rest next to my home is quite fortunate for me.
That ain't what most call fortunate.
And that you weren't being targeted by people after your life. You'd mentioned not having long to live.
Ah, so I did. And that was in reference to my sudden appendicitis.
Appendicitis?
I was told surgery was my only option if I hoped to survive. They'd have cut me right open. With a scalpel.
Please tell me your doctor ran around with a skeleton girlfriend, because that's now in my head.
To be put to sleep with chloroform and cut open left me positively shaken. But to do so with an anesthetic made it worse.
Without an anesthetic.
So as you can understand, I feared greatly for my health and fled.
You're a grown adult, sir.
You're quite right, which is why I decided to steel my nerves to be cut open by a steel scalpel. But first, I left you my ciphered messages so I would have no regrets.
Have you had the surgery?
I have. My abdomen was hacked to bits. Or as the doctor might say, the surgery was without complications. I am indeed fit to return to lessons.
Okay, so again, you broke in, wrote the message on the board, ran away, had surgery, and are now at a funeral. Who the fuck has their appendix out and is at a funeral the next day unless it's your own? Same day. Same fucking day. I mean, it wouldn't even be your own. They can't get that shit pulled back out of that fast. Holy shit. Old-timey England was like, in and out, motherfucker. Here, just close your eyes, slice you open, rip your appendix out. You're fine. Get out. The fuck? You just had... No. Who the... I've never needed my appendix out. This motherfucking time bomb is still ticking in my body. But I'm just saying, I'm just guessing that they're not going to slice and dice me and kick my ass out of the hospital. Are you awake? Get the fuck out. You've been here for an hour. God. I mean, seriously? Jesus. Oh, good. I had a funeral to go to. Oh, my God. Mr. Mackenzie relayed his tale with gaiety, but he was the only person among us who wore a smile. I mean, I'm smiling. This is fucking hilarious.
I'd rather bury your right ear.
Oh, let's not be too angry, Jack. And that goes for all of you. Oh, we should be grateful he's well, I suppose. Well, I'll admit to some relief that he's alive. It would leave us with some rather unpleasant memories if our final piece of schoolwork was deciphering our teacher's will.
You were this worried? God has blessed me, this I know.
He was so deeply, genuinely moved that the entire class lost its will to complain any further. What? How did this get here? I felt a folded piece of paper in my pocket and removed it to read its contents. It's a cipher using made-up symbols. It's Holmes's writing. If I decode it the same way as the message earlier. Your intuition is nothing to make light of, but you don't let your successes build into conceit. It'd be better to take my advice when times call for it. Wonderful. It sounds like him. I looked up in hopes of spotting Holmes. It was by chance that he was looking at me as well. Yeah, you love me, you motherfucker. And when we met eyes, he granted me one of his smug smiles. The nerve is blossoming, guys! The nerve! It was just a moment, however. His attention was elsewhere before I could give any sort of telling retort. Conceit, you say? You might want to take your own advice. Though in a sense, I could take this as him acknowledging my capabilities. My heart would sing if I knew he meant that for certain. Even as a simple guess, the reminder that I had grown gave me a much inspired pinch of pride. I folded the message and placed it carefully in my pocket. The rain had stopped. As quickly as it had come, it was gone and clear. The day had been an eventful one, but I was delighted that our mystery ended with Mr. Mackenzie safe. Perhaps it was worth the anxiety to know we could come together as a class. Speaking of, Akechi and Kobayashi are fucking missing. So now the mystery of where they are. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this part up here. And yeah, look, this game is good. Like, her giant eyes are getting a little less. They're creepy as fuck, but they're not bothering me as much anymore. And I am enjoying this one. Like, I don't know. Like, I really do enjoy the way they've written it. Like, and again, and I don't know if the original Japanese was this sassy and they just straight up, like, I don't know. But I like the sass in it. I feel like it's really good. Like, because most of the time you read translations, and I mean, I know learning Japanese that it's difficult. You're like, okay, I'm gonna, like, your brain wants to direct translate things, and you're like, well, that sounds weird. Because that's not, but if you watch anime, you're like, okay, so this is what they said, but this is what it translated to. You're like, okay. And you know that there are times when you're playing games where they're always like, yes. And you're like, okay, well, they might have said okay or right. Because they probably said hi. You know what I mean? It's not just always yes. But, like, so sometimes, like, we just direct translated this shit. And you're like, and sometimes it loses its flavor. But I feel like what they did here was either they took it and was like, okay, this is the translate. Okay, let's color up the language. Let's make it colorful. Let's pretty it up a little. Or they're just in Japanese it was written motherfucking fancy like this, and they just kept, and they were just really good at translating. Like, I don't know, but like, I almost feel like, I hate saying that because you know I love Idea Factory, and you know those, I love them, but I'm just saying that like Idea Factory International and like Access, like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Xe did a really good job with this, and I'm just like, are there all their translations like this good? Because this is good. This one's good. I enjoy the colorfulness of the language and the personality and everything. Like, even like in Jack's speech, like, I don't know how you'd get that accent like in Japanese. I mean, I don't know well enough to know that like they could write and be like, yeah, we're here. You can write it like ear instead of here. You know what I mean? Like, you can write it and be like, okay, I can read the accent into what you're writing, and I love the fact that they put that in there because it makes it so much easier to give them a fucking accent. And you're like, I'm just gonna read it like this, eh? They're always after me, Lucky Charms, and I'll fucking stab them if they try to take them. You know what I mean? And I just love it. I don't know. I'm really impressed with it. But you know, and her giant eyes are goofy and weird, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Like, the art style of the game isn't like my, like, oh my god, it's so gorgeous, it's my favorite, but it's not bad. I don't mind it. That's one of the big things that gets me with like Otome games. There are some that I'm like, the story could be great, but the art style creeps me out and I can't play it. Like, this isn't one of my like top ones where I'm like, yeah, like Code Realize, Amnesia Memory. Like, most of the times, the ones that Design Factory does are like, yes, that fucking art is amazeballs, like Hakuoki, all that shit. I love those. It's so great. That's the those are like, that's my art stuff. That's what I want to see. And like, then you get some other ones that are a little like, you know, different, but are still good. And like, this one's cutesier. They look like cute little dolls, which is slightly disturbing, but also like I don't mind it as much. Like, I don't mind it, but like if it had the art style of like fucking Code Realize or Hakuoki or something, this would be like the motherfucking best. But not everything, not everything can be Code Realize. That game is like what I like wrap everything up against. Like, it wasn't even the first Otome game we played. Like, Amnesia was. And I love that game to motherfucking death, but Code Realize came along and I was like, nope. This is the game. This is the one we're gonna put everything up against and be like, is it? It's not. Like, yes, it's almost as good. Okay, I'm gonna compare everything. But really, I've actually enjoyed almost all the games we've played, but I am really enjoying this one. Like, I'm getting used to her giant derp eyes. I love fucking Pendleton to goddamn death. The characters are all pretty great. Even our side characters are funsies. And I mean, I don't know. And I feel like the translation has been really good. Like, I'm just really impressed with it. You know, it's not like you're just reading. It's like there's colorfulness to it. There's wordiness to, where you're like, I really feel like there's some, because you know what I mean? Like, normal games, you're reading the translation and it's fine, but, and they have, you're like, wow, that was a really pretty moment, like when they're saying this. But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward and easy. It's simple. Like, I don't mean it to say like, well, it's just like, but you know what I mean? It's straightforward, it's easy. But this just gets, and you're like, there's just so much more like color in the way they do this. Well, I don't know what it is. Like, am I crazy? Am I the only one that feels that way? Like, I don't know. But anyway, like, so now that I've rambled for fucking forever, I'm gonna wrap this up here. I will see you guys next time. Like, so yeah. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.